ToyTractorTimes.com is at the 2017 Lafayette Farm Toy Show in Indianapolis, Indiana, with Brad Beard from Couts, Indiana.
Yes.
And we last saw you out in Dyersville at the National Farm Toy Show, and it's great to have you here at the Lafayette Show.
It was close to home, so.
That's the best kind of show.
That's right.
Well, you got a kind of not a pioneer homestead, but early style mechanized farming.
Right.
And I really enjoy seeing this because we see the big 600 horsepower tractors today, combines that harvest 45 feet of wheat, and there was a simpler time. So
Yeah, simpler times, a bit more work probably.
a lot more work. So I guess we'll start over here with the grain binder going through the wheat field.
We built that ourselves, the grain binder. And for the wheat we used hay twine and poked each one of them in.
It looks very realistic.
And just found some pictures of binders on the internet and kind of took off and built it from there.
And that would, you cut with a sickle, cut the wheat and
cut the wheat off and then put it in a little bundle, and then you come along with the wagon and pick them up and take them over to the thresher.
So on my Big Tractor Power YouTube channel, I go out and I see 500 horsepower combines, and I guess we could say this is a 3 horsepower binder.
Yeah, right.
And so once they cut it, then they collect the sheaves of wheat up here on the wagon and
Work them into the separator, and grain will come out here and the straw comes out over here.
good old international harvester McCormick Deering. And before we had dump trucks and pickup trucks, we had wagons. And then belt powered thresher. And this Baker steam engine.
Steam engine, yes. The old Irvine toys came out.
I like how you've got the water where it would be dripping on the ground.
Right.
And then it looks like this one's powered by wood.
Wood.
Yeah.
Wood or coal, they've run.
Okay. You got the water wagon. That's neat. Today we got diesel and death. Then we've got the hay harvest going on.
The old hay loader. It's funny how people come around and show their kids how Grandpa used to do hay and point to this. And many people have seen hay loaders sitting in the fence rows, but never realized how they worked. And it's kind of backwards compared to how we do it today, with the baler being in before the wagon, and actually the hay loaders were behind the wagon.
That's I'd really like to see one of those work. That's
when I was like 6 years old, a neighbor across the street was actually doing it with the horses.
Wow. See, and then once you filled up your rag and whack, you'd take it back to the barn?
To the barn, and pull it up with a hay fork, and take a bundle, and then the hay system would come up to the top of the barn and track across the barn, and then by pulling your trip rope, you could trip that hay and dump it wherever you'd want it in the barn.
And the pulling part would either be horses, or you got a case steam engine over here pulling that rope. You can see the hay being deposited up there in the mow. Now, did you build this barn? Or?
I did build the barn.
That's very nice. I like the silo from that time period too. So this be early 1900s?
Early 1900s. Someone was telling me today they were actually threshing wheat up until 1954. Where they were doing it.
I think Case offered the threshers and the steam engines through maybe 1942.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. 1910, 1940s.
It's definitely a bygone era, but
It wasn't that long ago that we were doing it like that compared to what we're using today.
And then, we're in 2017, but 1917, I think there were only 8,000 cars in the whole United States, so it's come a long way. We've got the cows out here. Looks like a few cow patties in the yard.
Yep.
And again, farms have hundreds, if not thousands of cows, and again, you'd have just a few that you'd be milking and taking care of. Got the dandy windmill pumping water. Did you make the windmill as well?
We did, yes.
Okay. And over here we can see a corn crib, and is that a new idea rake down there? Or is
Sure.
that,
Just don't dump brake.
Right. Which you'd kind of just drag it across the field to get those windrows that we
Right.
saw on the loader. So then we got the sawmill. And I really like this with the sawdust and the boards.
Kind of patterned after when I saw down at the Indiana State Fair.
Again, belt powered by the K steam engine. So this farm would be a big time operator with two steam engines on the farm. But again, we've got that water wagon, the Case water wagon with the wood.
Yeah, we got a guy chopping up wood
The old-fashioned way.
the old-fashioned way.
And then we've got the mill. I guess this would be the mill, the stream coming in here. And what can you tell us about the mill?
It's actually one I saw and patterned it off of.
Looks like right out of the little house on the prairie, the way it's. So the water would come through here, and they collect it off this. Is this a flue then, or?
Right, yeah, the flue here with the shut-off valve, and water come down and spin the wheel.
Grind the wheat and make it into flour.
Make it into flour.
And then we've got a John Beard has built a new idea manure spreader here.
Yes.
And that was Joseph Oppenheimer in 1899 built the new idea spreader because he was a school teacher, and they didn't like having his students out of the, having to work so hard on the farm and being out of class. So he built the new idea spreader and built a big company in Coldwater, Ohio.
Yes.
Well, John and Brad, thank you for bringing this out to the show, and it's just great to see the farming history that has brought us to where we are today.
That's why we built this. It's fun to see the people and tell them about the history, and they tell you about the history.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.